Now, getting to a guy who, listen, a year from now when we're doing the show, we might have another update on this guy right here. But Bear Alexander signs with Oregon, and Oregon, Dan Lanning have had a pretty successful run early on in the portal here. I think they're being selective with who they're getting in terms of like certain position types and NFL type talents, of course. But this is going to be stop number 3 for Bear Alexander after started his career at Georgia, then USC the last couple seasons. And it's interesting because as a freshman, had a couple sacks at Georgia, had 9 tackles, transfers to USC, had a really solid sophomore year, 47 tackles, a sack and a half. Talking about a guy who's 6'3", 315, 320, was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, originally from Texas, played his high school football at IMG, or I should say finished up there. But you're getting a body type and an athlete there that at this position, there aren't too many guys like this walking around. You'll kind of take the fact that he's bounced around and maybe not been the most loyal. I don't want to speculate, right? But obviously, there's been a lot about his recruitment and his time in the portal. The picture the other day of him on a Penn State visit with a USC header in the background and the Georgia tattoo on his bicep was pretty. It was a pretty good summation of what you got here, but a big time talent nonetheless. And if it's going to work somewhere, you'd think that Dan Lanning can get it out of him at Oregon.
Yeah. This just shows, and we've talked about it, when you're big and athletic defensive tackle, you are going to have every single opportunity in the world. It's amazing. You look at Oregon, this is the #1 team in America. This is a team that is probably the national championship favorite, its first national championship of the modern era. So it's really amazing to see the fact that this guy who's bounced around and has not been particularly productive consistently is getting an opportunity like that. And again, it just shows you the value of the position, the value of the body type and of the athleticism. And look, this guy is very, very talented. You saw since he was a freshman at Georgia when he was recruited by Dan Lanning, athletic, can make plays in the backfield, a penetrator. Consistency is a thing with him. With USC, he almost left in the spring. There was a dispute over NIL, over playing time. So I think that kind of basically ended his USC tenure, even if it didn't end officially right there. It was just soured after that. But if you're Oregon, I think the way you're looking at it is if he comes and it doesn't work out, we'll let him go, right? And it's not something we're sweating. But if he comes in and he's a valuable member of the rotation, he's disrupting a few plays, he's getting an interior pressure to kill a drive that ends up helping us win a conference or helping us win a championship, obviously it's worth it. So you're not banking on this guy to save your defense. You are counting on him to be a part, under Dan Lanning, who recruited him, being a part of a unit that has multiple guys that can get after it. Derek Harmon, by the way, now Derek Harmon didn't have the maturity issues to the extent of you're talking about Bear Alexander, but he was a guy that when you watch him in Michigan State, he did not play with the consistent motor and just the overall consistency that he is doing now at Oregon, where he's a first-round player. He was a first-round talent at Michigan State, but he was not a first-round player. I would say Simeon Barrow, who went to Miami, was first-team All-ACC, was a better player than Harmon at Michigan State. Harmon goes to Oregon, gets in that system, and really elevates his game to not only is he first-round tools, but he's an actual first-round player. That's the impact he's making on the games, and that's where he's going to get picked. So if you're Lanning, very much, I'll say a heat check move, but something where you're saying, listen,
it's a luxury.
It's a luxury. Give me the body type, give me the athleticism, and I'm confident we can get him to where he's got to go.
Yeah, Canes Cat C305 says essentially what you're saying. He was worth the price because he's a 1-year rental.
And Oregon's going for it, man. This is not, I mean, look, Oregon is a team that's had very, very good teams over the years and has been on the cusp in recent years, but has not gotten to the point where they are truly national championship pedigree program. And they're right there right now. I would say they're the favorite. So they want to stay there. They're going to do everything that it takes to stay there, including adding body types that, look, there's not that many Bear Alexanders in Portland, Oregon, walking around, or in Milwaukee, Oregon, or Clackamas. These guys are not Ben.
Let's go, D. Drop your Oregon knowledge on the Oregon fans, man. I know you have some ties there too.
Of course, Milwaukee High School. My dad went there, but there's not guys like this walking around. So you got to get them when you can get them. If you're Oregon, I think that's what this is about.